Let me ask you something real. Have you ever told someone your big plan and suddenly lost the fire to do it? You said you were going to wake up at 5 a.m. You posted about starting the gym. You told friends about your business idea. And for a moment it felt good. But days later, nothing changed, because talking gave you the reward before you earned it. That's where most people lose. Not because they lack intelligence, not because they lack opportunity, but because they leak their power through noise. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." In today's world, that would sound like this. Stop announcing, start becoming. Look at your daily life. You argue in comment sections trying to prove you're right. You explain yourself to people who already decided not to understand you. You defend your choices to those who never built anything themselves. And while you're busy talking, someone else is studying, someone else is training, someone else is building quietly. They don't post the early mornings, they don't announce the setbacks, they don't explain their strategy, they just improve. And one day, you look up and they're ahead. That's the power of silence. Silence is not weakness, it's stored energy. Deep thinking is not overthinking, it's sharpening the blade before the battle. Winning quietly is not hiding, it's refusing to give the world access to your preparation phase. The truth is simple. The loudest person in the room is usually the most insecure. The quietest person is usually observing. And the observer learns patterns. The observer sees mistakes. The observer strikes only when ready. History proves this. The strongest leaders weren't constantly speaking. They listened, reflected, calculated, then acted once. And it was enough. Right now, your biggest upgrade isn't more motivation, it's more restraint. Be silent, think deep, win quietly. The 8 Stoic principles you're about to learn will teach you how to control your tongue, discipline your thoughts, and build results without seeking validation. This isn't about being passive, it's about becoming precise. If you're ready to stop performing and start producing, if you're ready to build without broadcasting, if you're ready to move like a Stoic, hype the video and hit that like button. Drop this in the comments right now. I win quietly. Stay with me. By the end of this video, you won't just understand silence, you'll weaponize it. Number 1. Silence is not weakness, it's self-control. Most people think silence means you have nothing to say. They assume if you're quiet in a meeting, you're unsure. If you don't argue back, you've lost. If you don't defend yourself immediately, you must be guilty. That's how shallow the world has become. But Stoicism teaches something different. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." Read that again. Not overpower them, not embarrass them, not destroy them. Simply refuse to become them. Let's bring this into real life. You're at work. A colleague subtly undermines you in front of others. You're in a family discussion. Someone throws a sarcastic comment at you. You're online. A stranger disrespects you in a comment section. Your chest tightens. Your heart rate rises. Your mind starts building the perfect comeback. You want to respond immediately, because reacting feels powerful. But it's not. It's predictable, and predictable people are easy to control. Silence in that moment is not weakness. It's restraint under pressure. It's the ability to feel the emotion and not let it hijack your behavior. That is self-control. And self-control is the foundation of every other strength. If you can't control your tongue, you can't control your life. If you can't control your emotions, you can't control your decisions. If you react to every provocation, you're being led, not leading. Here's what most people don't understand. When you stay silent during disrespect, you create psychological imbalance. The other person expects reaction. They're prepared for resistance. They're ready for escalation. But when you don't give it, they feel exposed. They talk more. They over-explain. They reveal insecurity. Meanwhile, you remain steady. Calm is intimidating because it shows you're not easily moved. But silence does not mean suppression. Stoicism is not emotional numbness. It's emotional processing. You feel the anger. You acknowledge the sting. You observe the impulse to strike back. And then you choose not to. That pause, that space between stimulus and response, is where power lives. In today's world, this is rare. Everyone is conditioned for instant reaction, instant replies, instant opinions, instant outrage. But the one who pauses, thinks, calculates, wins. Silence also protects your future. How many friendships ended because of one sentence spoken in anger? How many careers were damaged because of one emotional reaction? How many reputations were destroyed by one uncontrolled moment? Words are permanent. Once released, they can never be recalled. The Stoics understood this deeply. Speech was to be measured, deliberate, necessary. So, when someone tries to bait you, pause. When someone doubts you, observe. When someone celebrates your failure, remember it quietly. Let your improvement be your response. Let your discipline be your reply. Let your results be the only argument you make. People might call you distant. They might call you cold. They might assume you're weak because you don't react. Let them. Because while they are reacting emotionally, you are building strategically. And when the moment comes, when your growth is undeniable, when your progress speaks louder than any defense ever could, they'll finally understand. Your silence was never submission. It was preparation. If this hit you, type this in the comments. My silence is my power. Number 2. Silence before strategy. Most people don't fail because they're incapable. They fail because they move too fast. They see opportunity, they jump, they face criticism, they react, they feel pressure, they decide, and later, they regret. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Power over your mind means power over impulse. And impulse is expensive. Think about your own life. How many times have you said yes too quickly, only to realize later you walked into a trap, a great business offer that drained your time, a relationship that felt exciting but ignored red flags, a heated argument where you said one sentence you wish you could erase? All of it happened because you acted before you thought. Silence creates space, and space creates strategy. When you go silent, you're not being passive. You're collecting data, you're watching body language, you're listening to tone, you're noticing inconsistencies. While others rush to speak, you're mapping the terrain. Think about a chess master. Before every move, silence, not confusion, calculation. They're not just asking, what should I do next? They're asking, if I move here, what will they do? And after that, and after that. 3 moves ahead, 5 moves ahead, 10 moves ahead. That silence is what separates amateurs from masters. Now apply that to your world. Someone criticizes you publicly. Your instinct screams, defend yourself. But strategic silence asks, is this worth my energy? Are they seeking truth or attention? If I stay calm, will they expose themselves? Often, when you don't respond emotionally, the other person collapses under their own aggression. Silence forces people to reveal more than they planned to. And information is power. The emperor ruled during war, betrayal, and political chaos. Every decision affected thousands. He could not afford emotional reactions. One impulsive move could mean death. So he reflected. He wrote. He paused. His silence wasn't hesitation, it was preparation. But today, silence feels uncomfortable. You're trained to respond instantly. Instant replies, instant opinions, instant outrage. The algorithm rewards speed, society rewards noise, but mastery rewards patience. When you talk too much, you leak strategy. You reveal your intentions. You expose your fears. You show your emotional triggers, and people adjust. But when you're silent, you become unreadable, unpredictable, dangerous. Here's something practical. Before any major decision, give it 24 hours. No announcement, no validation seeking, no emotional discussion. Just think, write it down. Worst case scenario, best case scenario, long-term consequences. You'll be shocked how many urgent opportunities dissolve under quiet reflection. Strategic silence also means knowing when not to engage. Not every debate deserves you. Not every insult requires defense. Not every invitation deserves acceptance. Sometimes the strongest move is no move at all, because movement without clarity is chaos. But movement after silence, that's precision. So before you speak, pause. Before you commit, think. Before you react, analyze. Plan in silence. Then execute so cleanly, so decisively, so effectively that no one saw it coming. Number 3. Deep thinking means questioning yourself first. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people don't avoid failure. They avoid mirrors. It's easier to blame your boss, easier to blame your partner, easier to blame your childhood, easier to blame the system. Anything but asking, what if it's me? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. But I have recognized that the wrongdoer has a nature related to my own." That last line is powerful. A nature related to my own. He's saying, the flaws you see in others exist in you too. That's deep thinking, not analyzing the world, analyzing yourself within it. Think about the last conflict you had, an argument, a misunderstanding, a falling out. You probably replayed what they said, what they did wrong, how they disrespected you, but did you ask, did I escalate this? Did my ego need to win? Did I listen, or just wait to respond? Was I seeking truth or validation? Those questions hurt. That's why most people never ask them. The Stoics practiced nightly self-examination, not motivational journaling, brutal reflection. Where did I lose control today? When did emotion override reason? Where did pride cost me growth? This wasn't self-hate, it was self-mastery. Because if you can't examine yourself honestly, you can't improve deliberately. Most people do the opposite. They justify, they rationalize, they twist the story so they're always the victim. And in protecting their ego, they sabotage their evolution. Because here's the reality, if the same problems keep following you into different jobs, different friendships, different relationships, at some point you have to ask, am I the common denominator? Deep thinking means confronting your blind spots. We all have filters, past pain, past rejection, past insecurity. Those filters distort how we interpret situations. Maybe your boss wasn't disrespecting you. Maybe you're hypersensitive to authority because of past experiences. Maybe your partner wasn't attacking you. Maybe your pride can't handle feedback. Deep thinking asks, am I seeing reality clearly, or through the lens of my wounded ego? This level of honesty is rare, because it strips excuses, and excuses are comfortable. But here's the shift. When you blame the world, you stay powerless. When you question yourself, you reclaim control, because you can't control other people, but you can control your habits, your reactions, your standards, your effort. Even emperors questioned themselves. They didn't assume power made them correct. They knew ego is the enemy of wisdom, and the antidote to ego, relentless self-examination. Deep thinking also means questioning your motives. Why do I want this goal? Is it aligned with my values? Or am I chasing applause? Am I staying in this situation because it's right? Or because I'm afraid to change? Sometimes when you dig deep enough, you realize you're living according to someone else's expectations. That realization can feel destabilizing, but it's freeing. This isn't about being harsh with yourself. Harshness shames, honesty strengthens. So here's something practical. Every night, ask yourself 3 questions. Where did I act from strength today? Where did I act from ego? What will I improve tomorrow? Write it down, no judgment, just awareness. Over time, patterns will reveal themselves. The same triggers, the same reactions, the same weaknesses. And once you see them clearly, you can dismantle them. Most people live on autopilot. Deep thinkers live intentionally, and the person who questions themselves first becomes unstoppable. Number 4, think beyond the moment. Most people live trapped inside the next 5 minutes. They eat what feels good now. They say what feels powerful now. They quit what feels hard now. And then they wonder why their life feels weak later. They don't lack intelligence. They lack perspective. Marcus Aurelius said, "Confine yourself to the present." At first, that sounds like the opposite of long-term thinking. But here's what he meant. Don't be anxious about what you can't control. Don't be haunted by what already happened, but absolutely control the decision you're making right now, because that decision shapes the future. The present moment is the only place where the future is built. Most people only see the first ripple of their choices. They eat junk food. It tastes good. They skip the workout. They feel relieved. They fire back during an argument. They feel dominant. Immediate reward. But they don't see the second ripple, or the third. That junk food becomes a habit. That skipped workout becomes a lifestyle. That emotional reaction becomes a reputation. Deep thinkers don't just ask, "How does this feel right now?" They ask, "Where does this lead?" That question changes everything. Imagine your life 1 year from now. If you keep making the same decisions you're making today, are you stronger, calmer, more disciplined, or just more comfortable? Thinking beyond the moment means stepping outside yourself. It means observing your life like it's a strategy game. You are both the player and the strategist. You ask, if I tolerate this behavior now, what pattern am I creating? If I choose comfort today, what version of myself am I reinforcing? If I react emotionally here, what identity am I building? Because identity is not formed in dramatic moments. It's formed in repeated small choices. One cigarette doesn't destroy your health, but repeated indulgence does. One angry outburst doesn't ruin your reputation, but repeated emotional instability does. One lie doesn't collapse trust, but patterns of dishonesty do. Everything compounds. The Stoics understood compounding deeply. Small daily discipline builds unshakable character. Small daily weakness builds silent regret. Let's make this real. Someone disrespects you publicly. Your ego wants revenge. You want to win the moment. But think beyond it. If you react emotionally, you look reactive. You validate their insult. You create unnecessary enemies. But if you remain calm, you build a reputation, and reputation compounds faster than emotion fades. Or maybe you're choosing between comfort and growth. A job that pays more now but teaches nothing. A path that's harder now but builds skill. Most people choose the immediate reward, but 5 years later, the comfortable path feels like a cage. Thinking beyond the moment protects you from manipulation too. Manipulators work in the present tense. They trigger your anger. They bait your pride. They rush your decisions, because urgency kills clarity. But when you pause and ask, what happens after this? You break the spell. You see who benefits from your reaction, and suddenly you're no longer controllable. The final truth is this: thinking beyond the moment creates patience. Most people want transformation now, but real strength is built slowly, quietly, repeatedly. Every decision is either a deposit or a withdrawal from your future. There is no neutral. So when Marcus says, confine yourself to the present, he means control this moment fully, because this moment is laying the brick for your future. Stop living for emotional wins. Start living for long-term dominance. Number 5. Quiet wins last longer. Everybody loves the spotlight, the championship photo, the viral announcement, the public applause. But here's what most people don't realize: the louder the victory, the heavier the target. Marcus Aurelius said, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." Beginning to live doesn't mean performing your success. It means building something real, even if no one claps. Most people don't actually want success. They want the appearance of success. They want to be seen winning. But loud victories come with invisible costs. Think about lottery winners. They celebrate loudly. They upgrade visibly. They announce it proudly. And suddenly, old friends reappear. New opportunities appear. Jealousy appears. Expectations multiply. Pressure multiplies. And within years, many of them collapse financially, because noise attracts predators. Now compare that to someone who quietly builds wealth over decades. No flashy posts, no dramatic celebrations, no need for validation, just systems, discipline, compounding effort. Nobody watches them rise, but nobody can take them down either. Quiet wins last longer because they're rooted in substance, not spectacle. When you win loudly, you create pressure. Pressure to repeat it. Pressure to maintain it. Pressure to outperform your own highlight. You become a prisoner of your peak moment. Every move gets compared to that one big win. And suddenly, you're not building anymore. You're defending. But when you win quietly, you stay free. Free to evolve. Free to fail privately. Free to improve without public judgment. There's also a psychological truth here. When you announce your success too early, your brain rewards you too early. You get dopamine from the applause, from the likes, from the praise, and your hunger weakens. That's why people who constantly talk about their goals often don't reach them. The announcement feels like achievement, but it isn't. Quiet builders don't steal their own momentum with premature celebration. They secure the foundation first. Let's make this practical. You land a major client. Your first instinct? Post it. But now your competitors are watching. Your audience expects more. Your reputation is tied to one outcome. And if that deal collapses, it collapses publicly. But if you win quietly, you protect your leverage. You protect your flexibility. You protect your peace. Quiet wins also compound faster. Because while loud winners are celebrating step 1, you're already building step 3. There's no performance, no distraction, just momentum. And momentum is power. Quiet success also preserves your relationships. Loud success can create distance. People project onto you. They feel inferior. They become transactional. But quiet growth keeps you grounded. You're not performing a role. You're simply becoming stronger. And here's something most people overlook. Quiet wins age better. Loud victories are tied to moments. Moments fade. Trends shift. Applause dies. But quiet wins are tied to systems. Character, discipline, integrity. Those deepen over time. A trophy gathers dust. Character gathers respect. When people remember you years from now, It won't be because you shouted about one achievement. It'll be because of how steady you were, how disciplined you stayed, how consistent your results became. So, win quietly, build silently, improve without announcement. Let your progress be discovered, not declared. Because the most dangerous success is the one nobody saw coming. Number 6, don't announce the work. The moment you announce what you're building, you lose leverage, you invite opinions, you invite doubt, you invite distraction, and most of it comes disguised as support. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." Notice the brutality of that instruction. He didn't say, talk about becoming one. Declare your intention to become one. Post your transformation. He said, be one. The work is the statement. Everything else is noise. Here's what really happens when you announce the work before it's done. First, you invite projection. People will tell you it's risky. They'll say, be realistic. They'll disguise fear as advice. And even if you tell yourself you don't care, their words linger. In moments of struggle, those planted doubts resurface. Now you're not just fighting the difficulty of the task, you're fighting the echo of their limitations in your head. Second, you create false accountability. When you announce your plan publicly, you become accountable to their expectations, their timelines, their definitions of success, their curiosity. You start making decisions to look consistent instead of to be effective. You adjust your strategy so it makes sense to others, and the vision slowly becomes diluted. Third, and this is dangerous, your brain rewards you too early. When you say, I'm starting a business, and people respond with excitement, your brain releases dopamine. It feels like progress, but you haven't built anything yet. The announcement becomes the achievement, and hunger dies. Real builders understand this. They don't talk about the gym. They train. They don't talk about writing the book. They write. They don't call themselves entrepreneurs. They build systems that generate revenue. Titles are cheap. Execution is rare. Think about someone writing a book. If they announce it, everyone asks, how's it going? Now they feel pressure to give updates. They start writing so they have something to report. Not because the story demands depth, not because the work deserves refinement, but because they need progress to show. The work becomes performance. But when you write in silence, there is no audience, no applause, no pressure to impress. Just you and the standard. That's purity. That's mastery. There's another danger in announcing. It attracts parasites, people who want association without contribution, copycats who move faster because they didn't waste time talking, critics who feel threatened and attempt to sabotage. But when you move quietly, you're unpredictable, untraceable, untouchable. And here's the deeper truth. When nobody knows what you're building, you are forced to love the work itself. If you can't stay committed without applause, it was never a real goal. It was an identity performance. Silence filters out ego. Because when you're not announcing, you can't pretend you've arrived. You see clearly how far you still have to go. You stay humble. You stay sharp. You stay disciplined. There's also power in surprise. When you announce, people expect. When you deliver without warning, people respect. Expectations create pressure. Results create impact. So, stop explaining. Stop defending the vision. Stop broadcasting the blueprint. Build quietly, relentlessly. Let them doubt empty space. And when the structure is finished, let it stand so strong that no announcement was ever necessary. If this hits, type this below. I build in silence. I reveal in excellence. Number 7. Let people underestimate you. Most people are terrified of being underestimated. They need everyone to know how smart they are, how capable they are, how much potential they have. But being underestimated is one of the greatest strategic advantages you can have. The object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane. Marcus Aurelius. When people underestimate you, they lower their guard. They don't see you as a threat. They don't prepare for you. They don't study you. They don't take you seriously. And that's exactly when you strike. Not with aggression, but with competence they never saw coming. Think about every major upset in sports, business, or life. It happens because someone was underestimated. The opponent didn't prepare properly. The competitor didn't take them seriously. The challenge was dismissed as easy, and that underestimation created the opening for victory. But here's what most people do instead. They try to prove themselves constantly. They need everyone to recognize their intelligence, their worth, their capabilities. They drop hints about their achievements. They name drop. They over-explain their credentials. All of this screams insecurity. And worse, it shows their hand. When you let people underestimate you, you're playing a different game entirely. You're not seeking approval. You're gathering information. While they're dismissing you, you're observing them. While they're underestimating your capabilities, you're understanding their weaknesses. While they're being loud about their superiority, you're being quiet about your preparation. Throughout history, leaders often appeared humble, even passive, to those who didn't know better. But that appearance was strategic. It allowed them to see people's true nature. When people think you're not a threat, they show you who they really are. They reveal their biases, their strategies, their weaknesses. They hand you the blueprint for defeating them without even realizing it. Being underestimated also removes pressure. When nobody expects much from you, you're free to work without the burden of expectations. You can experiment, you can fail privately, you can learn without judgment. This freedom accelerates growth because you're not wasting energy managing perceptions. You're investing all your energy into actual improvement. Let's get specific. You walk into a negotiation. The other side has done their research, but they've underestimated you based on your age, your appearance, your background, whatever. Your first instinct might be to correct that immediately, to establish credibility, to prove you belong at the table. But that's a mistake. Instead, let them underestimate you. Let them think they have the upper hand. Listen more than you speak. Ask questions that seem simple but reveal crucial information. Watch how they behave when they think they're in control. And then, at the critical moment, reveal that you understood everything all along. You knew their position better than they did. You saw through their strategy. You prepared for scenarios they didn't even consider. The shock of that reversal is devastating to their confidence. And more importantly, you win because they never prepared for the real you. They prepared for the version they invented in their head. Being underestimated also filters out superficial relationships. People who underestimate you based on surface-level judgments aren't people you need in your life anyway. They're shallow, they're judgmental, they value appearance over substance. Let them underestimate you and move on. The people who see your real value without you having to prove it are the ones worth keeping. Your worth isn't determined by whether others recognize it. Your capabilities don't disappear because someone doesn't believe in them. So why waste energy trying to convince people? Just be capable, just be competent, just be excellent. The results will speak eventually. There's also something deeply powerful about exceeding expectations. When people expect little and you deliver much, the impact is massive. But when people expect much, because you've been talking yourself up and you deliver exactly what you promised, it feels ordinary. Underestimation creates space for extraordinary impact. Here's the paradox most people miss. The less you need to prove, the more you actually prove. Insecurity announces itself. Confidence is silent. When you're constantly trying to convince people you're smart, you're actually revealing that you're unsure. But when you're comfortable being underestimated, you're revealing that you don't need their validation. And that self-assurance is far more convincing than any words. So let them underestimate your intelligence. Let them underestimate your work ethic. Let them underestimate your ambition. Let them underestimate your discipline. Don't correct them. Don't educate them. Don't prove anything. Just keep building. Keep improving. Keep executing. And when the results become undeniable, their underestimation becomes their embarrassment, not your problem. Being underestimated is only painful if you need their estimation to feel valuable. But if you know your worth independent of their opinion, their underestimation becomes your advantage. Use it, leverage it, win because of it. Number 8, win without needing applause. The ultimate test of character is simple. Can you win when nobody's watching? Can you do the right thing when there's no credit? Can you build something meaningful when there's no audience? The greatest minds in history spent their lives answering yes to these questions, and that's why their legacy still echoes thousands of years later. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Marcus Aurelius. Most people are addicted to applause. They need validation. They need recognition. They need someone to witness their effort and confirm its value. But here's the brutal truth. If you need applause to keep going, you're not driven by purpose. You're driven by ego. And ego-driven achievements crumble the moment the applause stops. Think about why you really do what you do. Strip away the Instagram posts, the potential praise, the imagined recognition. If nobody ever knew, would you still do it? If there was zero chance of external validation, would the work still matter to you? That question reveals everything about your motives. The most powerful leaders in history could have demanded constant praise. They could have built monuments to themselves on every corner. They could have required public celebrations of their every decision. But they didn't, because their satisfaction came from doing their duty well, not from being celebrated for it. Winning without needing applause means your internal standards are higher than external expectations. You're not trying to impress people. You're trying to become the kind of person you respect. You're not seeking their approval, you're seeking your own. And that shift changes everything. When you need applause, you become a slave to opinion. You make decisions based on how they'll look, not whether they're right. You choose paths that get attention over paths that create real value. You optimize for perception instead of substance. And over time, you build a life that looks impressive but feels empty. But when you win without needing applause, you're free. Free to take the harder path because it's the right one. Free to make the unpopular choice because it aligns with your values. Free to work on things that matter, even if nobody notices. That freedom is power. Let's make this concrete. You're working late on a project. Nobody will know you stayed late. Your boss won't see it. Your colleagues won't praise it. There's zero external reward. Do you still give it your best effort? Do you still refine that detail nobody else will notice? Do you still push for excellence when mediocrity would go undetected? If you need applause, the answer is no. You coast. You do enough to get by. You save your real effort for when someone's watching. But if you win without needing applause, you give your best because your standards demand it, not because someone's measuring. This principle applies everywhere. Do you eat healthy when nobody's around to see it? Do you keep your word when breaking it would go unnoticed? Do you stay disciplined when there's no one to hold you accountable? These private victories are the ones that actually build character. The public ones just reveal it. True integrity is what you do when nobody's looking. Anyone can perform virtue publicly. That's easy. But living virtuously in private, when there's no recognition, no reward, no witness, that's rare, that's real. Winning without needing applause also protects you from the fickleness of public opinion. Applause is unreliable. Today's hero is tomorrow's villain. The same people who cheer you will criticize you when trends change. If you're dependent on their applause, you'll be destroyed by their rejection. But if you're independent of both, you're unshakable. There's also something deeply satisfying about private victories that public ones can't match. When you accomplish something difficult and you're the only one who knows, there's a quiet pride that's more fulfilling than any external validation. It's pure. It's untainted by ego. It's just you knowing that you did what needed to be done. Here's another layer. Needing applause makes you predictable. People can manipulate you with praise. They can control you by withholding it. They can redirect your energy by celebrating certain behaviors and ignoring others. But when you don't need applause, you become unmanipulable. No one can control you with validation because you don't need their validation. Think about parents who only praise certain achievements and ignore others. The child learns to chase those specific achievements, not because they're meaningful, but because they earn praise. That pattern continues into adulthood. People chase careers, relationships, lifestyles that earn applause from others while ignoring what actually fulfills them. But when you break free from needing applause, you reclaim your life. You choose what matters based on your values, not their opinions. You build what you believe in, not what they'll celebrate. You become who you want to be, not who they want you to be. The applause of fools is worthless. If 1,000 people who've achieved nothing praise your mediocrity, does that make it excellent? If people with no discipline celebrate your lack of discipline, does that validate it? The crowd applauds all kinds of foolishness. Their applause means nothing. So who are you really trying to impress? If it's people you don't respect, why do you care about their applause? And if it's people you do respect, wouldn't they respect you more for doing great work quietly than for seeking their validation loudly? The final truth is this: the most meaningful wins are the ones nobody sees. The battle you fight with yourself every morning to get up and do the work. The temptation you resist when giving in would be easier. The standard you maintain when lowering it would go unnoticed. These private victories build the foundation for everything else. So win without needing applause. Work for the satisfaction of the work itself. Build for the value of what you're building, not the recognition it might bring. Improve because improvement is its own reward, not because someone might notice. Let the applause come or not come. It doesn't matter, because you're playing a different game entirely. You're building a life that's meaningful to you, not a highlight reel that's impressive to them. Silence is not emptiness. Deep thinking is not inaction. Quiet winning is not hiding. These are the tools of the powerful, the strategies of the wise, the habits of people who build things that last. Real strength doesn't announce itself. Real wisdom doesn't need validation. Real victory doesn't require witnesses. In a world that rewards noise, the most powerful thing you can do is master silence. In a culture that celebrates performance, the most radical act is building substance. So be silent, think deeply, win quietly. Let others chase applause while you chase excellence. Let them perform while you build. Let them talk while you execute. Because in the end, results don't need explanation. Quality doesn't need defense. Character doesn't need promotion. These 8 principles aren't just philosophy. They're a blueprint for living with power, purpose, and peace. Master them, and you'll move through life with a clarity most people never find. Now hit that like button. Drop your favorite affirmation in the comments. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe to this channel because we're just getting started. The journey to mastery is long, but every step matters. Post your commitment in the comments. I am the quiet storm.